Good evening and welcome to POSTCAST. David Locke along with Kevin Pelton. This is Kevin Pelton of the famed ESPN Insider. We'll see if Ron Boone boots you out like last time. You never know who's watching, though. The Jazz lose tonight, 105-99 to the Blazers. And of all stunning things, the Blazer bench outplays the Jazz bench. Now, that might just be young kids at home versus young kids on the road. That's the stereotype. Does this fit that narrative?
Well, Portland in general is a much tougher team to beat at home. I've seen them beat some very good teams here at the Rose Garden this season, including Miami. But most of those cases, it was primarily the starting lineup. So this was definitely a flip. I mean, that was the narrative coming in, especially with Wesley Matthews out of lineup, the Blazers were probably going to struggle to replace his production because it was going to put even more pressure on their bench. And instead, the guys who were on the bench, in terms of Will Barton, Luke Babbitt, Nolan Smith, all responded with terrific performances and maybe the best effort combined by the bench all season for the Blazers.
Nolan Smith had a career game, and the game really, it's hard to zero in on one possession or another, but to some extent this game swings on 2 threes on the right corner by Nolan Smith and Marvin Williams, who had a very good game, but just in this sequence, he missed the shot. The same kind of shot on both sides, and of all crazy things, the guy who's 2 of 16 for the season hits 2 threes, and Marvin, who's having a fabulous game, finishing with 15.6 rebounds, 2 assists tonight, did not hit it.
I mean, the expression in sports is game of inches, and I don't know if that works as well in basketball, but it's the little margins, that one shot here or there, that ends up being crucial in a game like this that is decided by 6 points or fewer.
Jazz allowed 51% shooting, and the Blazers hit 56% of their threes. The Blazers are a team that took the third most amount of threes in January, and they only averaged 27th% in three-point percentage, so for them to come out, suddenly hit 56%. And here is the thing that jumps out to me when I get to that, and I will share this with you, and then you can decide what you want to do with it on your little ESPN thing you got. The Jazz home defense this year is 9th in the league in opponent field goal percentage, and 11th against the three. Pretty good.
Yeah.
On the road, the Jazz rank 29th in field goal percentage defense. They allow 51% tonight. And 30th in three-point percentage defense. The Jazz are the worst road three-point shooting defense in the NBA, and tonight they go 10 of 18 only to further that concept.
Well, the one thing I'll say about three-point percentage is it tends to be something that fluctuates a lot from game to game because of the fact that, it's such a small number of shots. We're talking about 18 shots, and over that, more crazy things can happen than over 50-some-odd two-point shots. So that's probably some of it. I wonder if part of it is also the altitude effect helping the Utah defense at home.
I think the altitude effect is always a very large factor in this one. You saw the Jazz tonight. The Jazz you watched last night. What's your impression after seeing this back-to-back nights against a Blazer team that's now 24-23?
Well, I think one thing that jumps out is they're missing Gordon Hayward right now quite a bit. He's just the most complete option that you have on the wing in terms of shooting, in terms of creating plays, in terms of defense. You've got elements of all those other 3 things from guys like Randy Foye and Marvin Williams that are stepping up and playing a few more minutes in his absence, but not one guy that combines all of those. And I think where that really stands out is down the stretch.
I believe that Gordon is the only player on the roster who is, the Jazz are both better offensively and defensively when he's on the floor than when he's on the bench. Every other player we're better defensively when Favors is on the floor, but worse offensively. We're better offensively with Jefferson, but we're worse defensively, obviously, when he's on the floor. So that kind of, that fits the numbers, believe it or not, fit your eyeball.
What are the odds?
That's right. Well, at least you should the one who should use the numbers to explain that. The Jazz got Damari Carroll, gave them 5 of 5 for 11 points off the bench, but otherwise Enes Kanter 0 of 7, Alec Burks 1 of 6. Is it true that young players play better at home than on the road?
It's not something I've looked at. I think anecdotally it makes sense, and you're more comfortable at home. A veteran player has a routine that they can go to on the road. They have more experience that they can draw on in those situations, especially against a loud arena like the Rose Garden can get down the stretch. So I think that makes sense why it would have more impact on young guys than veterans.
And before we let you go, your thoughts on the Weber State product, Damian Lillard?
He's terrific. He continues to impress me more and more every time I see him, I'd say. The combination of his ability to shoot off the dribble and then also make plays switches and get to the paint and set up his teammates. I mean, I don't think I've found one strategy other than taking the ball completely out of his hands that has been effective against him all the time. You might get him once or twice like the Jazz did early tonight, but eventually he's going to figure out a way.
Lillard finishes with 23 points. He has 8 assists. He did turn over 4 times, hit 9 of 17, and the fact is it looks as though he never misses a shot because every time he gets a good look, he buries it. On behalf of Kevin Pelton, I'm David Locke. Thank you very much for tuning in to POSTCAST today. Pleasure to be with you. We'll be back with you Monday. Jazz play the Kings. We're home Wednesday against Milwaukee, and then Friday against Chicago. Tickets available for all those at utahjazz.com. Have a good night. Be safe.